Hey, I'm Tom, and this is TRB Collectibles, where I go to yard sales, estate sales, and thrift stores. I buy items for a low price and then resell them on eBay for a decent profit. And today, I wanted to talk about all of those wonderful sales that I've recently had. The first one being, well, it's a battery charger. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. I picked this battery up, and I usually buy a lot of different items when I do go to the thrift store, and when they're all purchased, I will go ahead and divide them by the amount of items I got, and this happened to be $1.06 for this battery charger. Now, this battery charger is probably more than likely for power tools. They're going to charge those rechargeable batteries, in which a lot of the times people get new equipment and they get rid of their old battery chargers. But I'm never one to pass up an opportunity to take a look in those wire bins. You know, those bins that are all twisted and mangled that nobody wants to go through but always has the dollar price on it? Yeah, I'll take the time to find the $30 item that I just sold, that I picked up for $1.06. And also, they paid $13.50 to ship it as well. So that's why I always say, if you ever come across those bins, be sure to get ready to dig, because there's profit to be had. You just have to look for it, because the person before you didn't get a chance to. The second item in my list was a Sylvania VCR DVD combo. I've had this for a little while. The reason being, I didn't get a chance to list it. It's been sitting there for a little while. But the uniqueness about this VCR DVD combo that I picked up for $10 is that I bought 3 of the same model at an estate sale. Yes, the exact same model, and they all had their remote. I went into the garage. They were all stacked on top of each other. They were all marked, I believe, at it was $15 a piece, so it would have been $45 originally. I brought them inside and said, hey, I'd like to buy all of them. And she said, well, I can do 10 a piece and I'll take 15 off. I said, perfect, no problem. I went ahead and I put them down. I didn't see them for a couple months. I went ahead and I recently relisted them, and I noticed that I had the only ones with actual remotes, which means I can price it a little bit higher, which means I went into eBay, I went into scan the model of the VCR, and then I went into lowest price being sold. And then I noticed that nobody had the remote, and the last one that sold with the remote sold for a pretty penny. In less than a week, I sold this one for $74.99 plus $12.80 shipping. For $10, I couldn't beat it. I should have listed it a while ago. I still have 2 on eBay if you're interested in a VCR DVD combo. The next item on my list, item number 3, is codename Kids Next Door Operation Video Game. Now, this game is something that I picked up in my very first estate sale video. You know what? Let me take you back. Pick up. The codename Kids Next Door is something that I knew I wanted to buy, is because I bought it a couple weeks ago used, and I got about $17 plus shipping. With this one, this is sealed in packaging. Now, granted, there's a little peel in the packaging at the bottom here, where this in new packaging like so goes for about $45, $50. I'm probably gonna mark it down to about $40. And I should get my asking price, and I'd be very happy with this for $5. I can't complain. I can't believe that it was that long ago, but I'm glad that I sat on my item for a little while. It being a brand new PS2 game with a little bit of missing plastic on the bottom, I held out. Now, in that video, I mentioned that I was going to probably price it for $40. I said, hey, why not? I listed it for $50. It went down on a sale for $44.99, and somebody bought it full price. They didn't even ask me because I had best offer on. They didn't even present a best offer. They just bought it plus $4.90 shipping. You can't beat it. I couldn't complain, as I mentioned before, and it didn't take up too much space. I shipped it out in a bubble mailer, and my buyer was happy. So that was a win. The next item that I also wanted to talk about was the genuine Yamaha remote. Will I ever have a video that I will not mention some type of remote? I can't mention it time and time again. Never pass up an opportunity to scan a remote for a fireplace, a television, a VCR DVD combo, a fan, you name it, a remote control for a model airplane or some type of boat or car. People need these because they lose or they break, and in this one was a little bit older, almost vintage, I think. I sold it for $20 plus $4.90 shipping, and I only paid $1. Because a lot of these stores don't have the players, and a lot of these people are not just gonna buy a remote. So at the thrift store that I picked this up in, they went ahead and gave it to me for $1. Hey, it worked out for everybody, and never pass up an opportunity for those remotes. The next item on my list is the Seattle Mariners baseball hat. In my last What Sold video, I mentioned that I picked up a whole variety of different hats, including the AAA baseball teams that surprisingly have a great following and collection. So this Seattle Mariners baseball hat was rather unique. I've never seen anything like this before. I went ahead and I bought this item for $1.18 after I bought all those hats. That was the average cost that I paid. And I went ahead and I sold it for $25 for a best offer, plus $9.90 priority mail shipping in a 7x7x6 box. I put it in a poly mailer so water can't get to it, and the buyer gets a very nice hat. I still have a bunch of hats left, but that's almost $50 for 2 hats. That's paid for the rest of them, so those hats can sit, or I'll run a sale and make sure that they find new homes. But I'm already in the money on that initial buy of all of those hats that I purchased. And the last item that I wanted to talk about is a category that I've really looked over, and it's something that I'm really trying to learn more and more about. And that's CDs. Yes, there's still a market for those that buy CDs. Recently, I had gone to my local thrift store, and I had gone to their CD display. I had pulled down a couple CDs, a decent amount of them, and I started scanning them. And I started to notice that there were a lot by the same artists and same collection. So I went ahead and bought different genres of music, and I also picked up a couple of the same CDs by the same artists so I could sell them together. Remember, people not only collect items that give them joy, but they also collect music that fill their ears with happiness. So I went ahead and I picked up these Levon Helm CDs for 36 cents total, 18 cents a piece, because that's the amount of CDs that I got, and I broke them down by 18 cents in total. So I got a couple others besides these two. The reason I wanted to bring this up, individually they weren't going for a lot, but when I put them together in a lot of 2, they went for $19.99 plus $2.89 shipping. The margin on that return was huge. And now going forward, I will never pass up an opportunity to scan CDs again, or cassettes, or media in general besides DVDs. Media is highly sought after, especially if it's not on a streaming service, so always keep your eyes out for it. Well, if you enjoyed today's highlights of what I've sold recently, be sure to click that like button. And if you really liked it, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and tell all your friends. If you had any questions or comments, leave them down below. As always, my name's Tom, and this has been TRB Collectibles.